Okay, welcome to Management 103, Introduction to Applied Management. Very exciting, new course, new qualification, new program. You guys are going to be the guinea pigs, but that's okay. What we're going to do this evening is not too much actual classwork. We're really just going to run through a few sort of admin type things that we need to cover off and introduce ourselves to each other, get to know each other a little bit, and get a little bit familiar with this video conferencing environment, video recording environment, and our online learning environment through Moodle. Okay, so I'll make sure you get to have a bit of a look at that as well. And then we will just start with a bit of an introduction into what is management and what are we sort of talking about when we discuss this topic. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if we'll need the whole hour. But we will just see how it goes. Okay. If you have any questions at any point, just type up. Just I suppose a word of like video conference etiquette. It can be quite challenging for whoever's sitting on Westport, for Phil to hear if we all start talking all at the same time. So it sometimes is appropriate that we want to have a discussion, and then we might mute ourselves, and you can mute yourself on that end too, Phil, just by pushing that button on that little grey disc. You can also turn our volume up and down using the remote. So hopefully Diane's run you through a few of those tricks there, and you can zoom and swivel the camera using that as well. So we'll do that as well. And our microphone for you guys is just up in the middle there. So making sure that when you are talking, if you can talk in a nice, clear, loud voice so that Phil can hear whatever questions you're asking or whatever you're saying, is really helpful as well. Okay? Any questions about that? No? Great. So a little bit more housekeeping here. Health and safety, obviously, also very important. So please just being mindful of bags and cords. You'll notice I've got this across here, so just if you can avoid this area and perhaps walk around the back way, that would be great. And yeah, just tuck your bags away. In the event of earthquake, we've got our drop cover hold. If we need to evacuate the building, if the alarm goes off for fire, then we have plenty of exits in this building, fortunately. Across the hall, there are 2 doors going out. There's also down the hallway and down the stairs. You can go out to the front car park that way, and down the very end of the hallway that you might come in, up the stairs there. Phil, you should be able to get out through the front entrance, or just through the coffee room there, or out the other end of the building. There's another exit down there as well. And if you don't know where the bathrooms are already, here they're just down the hallway on the left. If you need to go. We won't necessarily have a break in this hour because it's a short time. But if you do need to go for whatever, just zip out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think our assembly point is on the lawn out the front of the Polytech. Okay. There's also in your program handbooks that you should have a copy of. Did you get one? Did you get Phil one of these the other day? No. Okay. Phil, I'll get a hard copy up to you, but this is also we'll make it available on Moodle as well. But in the very back, there's an appendix with some of the common hazards and things that we can do for trying to avoid those hazards or minimize those hazards as well. So, I mean, there's not too many, it's not like outdoor rec or building or automotive, where there's lots of machinery and equipment or things that could harm you, but of course, you know, when we're working with computers and things, we need to just also be mindful of how long you're sitting in front of a computer and taking breaks and resting your eyes and thinking about your posture and your position and those sorts of things. If you need any support with that, with getting yourself set up correctly in terms of your computer, then we actually have people here who can help you, student support services. Jodie Knight and we've got disability coordinator now and 20 Ellen as well. So we have got people who can assist you to get set up correctly, because you might find you're spending quite a bit of time in front of that computer as well. Okay. Any questions? So that program handbook that I gave you there is basically just a bit of an overview around the qualification, the level 5 and the level 6. And it's got our contact details and office hours in the front there. So you'll notice that I'm only half-time, 20 hours a week. My office hours, I have changed the, but it doesn't have much, I have changed Thursdays. I'm not now doing 9 till 3 on Thursday instead of 1 till 5. But I'm generally available by email, and I'll usually reply within 24 hours unless I happen to be away on leave. Okay. So just get in touch if you need to see me, and we'll make a time. I'm your tutor for this 1 hour, but I'm also your tutor for all the other hours of the week. Okay. So don't just think, oh, I can only talk to her at 5:30 on a Monday. You can come and talk to me at any time, make a time, even just pop in and see if I'm there in the office. Or email me, and sometimes we can just resolve it over email. But if you've got any questions about the program, assessments, the content, I'm really, really happy to just help you out with any of that. I've also got Ian's contact details, so Ian Hooker is here. If you haven't met him already, and sure most of you have. Yeah. So he's out there. He's going to step in from time to time as need be. And he's teaching on your other courses that you're doing. So it's got a little bit about the program background and the courses, and it tells you about the level 6 as well, so you know what you're looking to go on to if you're so inclined. Got a bit of the timetable in there, so you know which class is on which day. You can plan around that. Just note there that we did put in some tutorial assistance in the lunch breaks on a Wednesday and a Thursday between 12 and 1 p.m. That is kind of a drop-in session for all the papers, so if you've got anything in particular you want to talk about, bring it in, and sometimes it just helps other people might have the same question and you can come in and ask. If we find that people aren't utilising that time, then we might stop having it and just focus on the one-on-one individual face-to-face assistance. Okay. And in there you will also have a bit of about the program rules, code of conduct, all that sort of interesting fun stuff that you can read in your own time, and if you've got questions about it, just let us know. Alright. Okay, that's the program handbook. Any questions about that? Yeah. Alright. We also, like I said, mentioned before, we've got student support services available here on campus. We also have the library there, so some of you I know took the opportunity to do the library orientation with Pat in that orientation week. So, Phil, just because you're up in Westport doesn't mean you don't have access to the library. You can get into our library catalogue and search for books and things on our library catalogue online, and a lot of our resources are available online these days as well. So we'll make sure you get information about how to access that, and if there's something that you want from the library, then the librarian can just send it up to you, and you can just pop it back into that campus if you need it. You possibly won't necessarily need a lot more than what we give you. There's plenty of material to read in this course online, and the readings spelled out for you weekly. This isn't a prescribed textbook for this course, but I've got a whole lot of them lying around, and so for those of you who do like to read a little bit more or have an extra resource, feel free to take it away and use it. Okay, I'll send some up to Westport. Sorry I didn't get them up there for you today, Phil, but we will get them up there in the next couple of days. So not essential, and probably far more information than what you'll actually need. But I know some people do like to have a nice book in their hand. and it will cover most of the basics of what we're going to cover. Any other services I need to talk about? If you have issues, with student loans and things, Jody can help you out. If there's issues with enrolment, then there's, you can ask to talk to registry and they can help you out there. I was also going to just mention that I'm going to send you out a link for a marketing survey. Okay, so it's just a short survey that helps us to get a bit of information about why you chose this course, which of our marketing is working and so forth, and it just helps inform what we do. Because obviously we want to get more and more people on board and make it, make it a really successful program. So if you can, when I send it out, please go on and just fill in that survey. It's completely sort of anonymous, so we'll just collate the results and do something useful with them, don't you, Emily?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Emily works in our marketing department. Alright. So that's, I'll send that out in the next couple of days.
Cool.
You'll also know in front of you, you've got a bit of a course schedule with assessment dates. And for those of you doing more than one paper, we've put together an assessment calendar as well that tells you the due dates for all of the different courses that you might be doing. But your course schedule, now this is available on Moodle, so if you lose this hard copy, then you'll be able to get access to it through Moodle. But this basically tells us each week what topic we're covering, what we need to read, when our classes, and what activities you need to do. So each week most weeks there's a course forum post where you respond to the forum post on Moodle, and I'll show you that tonight briefly. And there's also an assignment, the assignments and the due dates for assignments on there. Okay? So for this particular course we've got 3 essays, is that right? 3 essays in the course forum. Okay, and we'll go into those and give you a bit more explanation and instruction around that as they come up. Okay, don't panic about that just yet. Okay. I might just show you the Moodle site quickly. And I know some of you have come in and done a little bit of training on that already, but just make sure you know where to go. Bring it up. So you can access this on your mobile device, your phone, your iPad. If you want to bring it into class, we've got Wi-Fi here and you can get access to that.
So do like the recorded sessions get put up on Moodle?
Yeah, and what we'll do with the recordings is I'll turn them into YouTube clips and put the links to YouTube. That does take a bit of time to take them off there and turn them into YouTube. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay? It takes me a couple of days often. But then I'll get them up so that you can see the link up there.
Excuse me, Kate, while you just putting that up, can I just make absolutely sure for my tiny mind, have you each of you got your own devices? I know Phil has, I've talked about it, you guys got it? Okay, that's fine, thanks.
So if you go, just Google TPP Moodle and that is what comes up, okay? So the VLE, it stands for Virtual Learning Environment, and that just takes you into the overall course. You will need to initially, if you haven't already done so, set up your own username so that you can log in each time, and that's what gives you access to the courses. So you create your own account using your email address. Now that's really important, having that email address is one that you check, because the course is, every time when we post in here and when I put out notices and notifications, that's how I'm going to communicate with you, and that's how you're going to communicate with each other. Okay, so making sure that you check that email regularly. So you go in there, go to the Diploma of Business, and you'll see the different courses there, okay? So we are in Introduction to Applied Management, and usually the first time that you go in there, it will ask you for an enrollment key. If you need that, just contact me and I'll let you know what it is. Okay.
I think it's West Coast on.
Yeah, it's just West Coast, all lower letters, that's right, thanks Phil, good memory. And you can self-enroll, so it says guests can't access this course. Okay, so once you're logged in though, hopefully it's reasonably straightforward. You will see a bit of information about the course, and that's where you can, anything that's sort of highlighted you can click on and it takes you in, and you can see I've loaded the course schedule, the learning outcomes, the reference list and things like that, okay? And that's where we also have that course forum. So you can see I've already posted. I haven't had any replies, guys. But yeah, the first, one of your first homework tasks from today is to go away, log in and reply to that post and sort of start to interact in that sort of virtual environment. Now if you have any difficulty with it, let me know and I will give you a hand, okay? And then weekly we go in and look at our topics. What is applied management is today's topic. Okay, so you've got a whole lot of information in there to read, and you can see I've already loaded the PowerPoint from tonight's session. Okay, and then I can load the YouTube link as well later on. And I might load activities in there as we progress and I get more technically capable of doing that. Okay. At the moment we're just learning, aren't we, Ian?
Yes, me much more than you. I'm slightly intellectual in IT challenge. My only device I have is a $15 Vodafone short phone.
Yeah, that's right.
So I can use it.
So you're the one that initiated the videoing the classes and loading them on. You were loading them on YouTube before I knew how to do that. Give yourself credit. All right. Okay, so yeah, any questions about the Moodle or that information so far? Pretty straightforward.
No.
All right, so I would like to also just get to know each of you a little bit, and especially because we've got TV and Phil can't actually see you guys at the moment, he can just see me. So we'll just do a little round of introductions, who you are and perhaps why you're here, and maybe one interesting thing about you, a hobby or something. Something that other people might not know, I don't know. If we just go around and just share, if that's right. Anyone want to start?
I can start.
Go Emily.
So I'm Emily. I'm doing this course because I'm working in marketing at the moment, so I'll give a bit of background information, so I don't have any formal qualifications in it. That's probably about it, really.
Yeah. So you've already done the 2 marketing papers from the old qualification,
Yeah.
haven't you? So
Yeah.
now you're starting to work towards the new qualification.
Yeah.
And just carry on.
Yeah, which I'm actually really looking forward to.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Emily.
that's all good.
I'm Ariana. The reason that I did this course was because I did administration first and really enjoyed administration, particularly things like accounting and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I enjoyed the more writing essays
Yeah.
and stuff, part of administration.
Excellent.
So
So academic side of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, ready to step up another level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hobbies like writing. That's really my hobbies.
Thanks.
I'll be a child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
5 on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep you busy then. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Thanks, Ariana. Okay. Phil, we'll go to you.
I'm Phil, I'm 37. Doing this course over my business down here. I'm going to start and think about it here. It's a plan.
I might just turn you.
Yeah.
What was that?
My name's Phil, I'm 37. I'm doing this course over my internet about here.
Yeah.
My hobbies are gaming online, yes, no?
Gaming online. Okay. All right. Yeah. Very good.
5 GTA 5.
Okay, and do you
Yes,
work,
fine, then,
you work as well, Phil?
I want to.
Do you work?
No, I don't work at the moment, no. I'm unemployed.
Yeah, you're a full-time student. That's
Yep.
a full-time workload.
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, thanks, Phil. And we've got Chrissy over here.
I'm Chrissy, I'm 18, fresh out of school. The reason I'm doing this is because I got the scholarship, all my friends got to uni and I was like, oh shit, they do something. And I got the scholarship for this to be paid for, so I decided what kind of interests me, and I'm working for a greenstone factory in Hoki at the moment as 2IC, so I kind of need to know some shit.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that's great. So you've got some, how many hours a week are you doing?
40.
Wow. Okay, you're going to be busy.
Yeah.
Good for you. No, that's excellent. And that's so useful too, to have
Yeah.
a job that you can apply the concepts
And my
to
boss is really good.
sometime.
She's quite close with Ian, so she's helping me a lot with what's going through.
Okay, very good. Yeah, all right. Well, it's great that you guys all made it along tonight. That's always a good start. So just a little bit about me, I guess. Yeah, I've been working here at the Polytech since around 2007 in various roles. I've worked in HR here initially and teaching, and I also was head of the business and computing department for 3 years. Then we went and travelled for a bit, and I came back, and I have came back as a part-time tutor, because now I have a 3-year-old, so that keeps me busy, and number 2 is on the way. So, so in June, July, I'll be taking off on maternity leave. So, and leaving you in Ian's very capable hands for a short period of time. But yeah, I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Whanganui, but I did my undergraduate at Waikato University, so I studied social sciences there. I actually went to university to be an anthropologist, and came away majoring in psychology instead. So psychology was my interest, and after that I went off to South Korea and taught English as a second language to children for 2 years. And when I came home, I came and studied a Masters in Industrial Psychology at Canterbury University for 2 years. And met my husband at that point, and he was living here, so I moved over here and lived happily ever after, something like that. So that's really where I came into it. My background with industrial psychology is a real human resource management focus. So teaching HR management, and then sort of teaching management papers, business communications and employment relations related papers. So that's really been my focus while I've been here. That's a little bit about all of us, hopefully. Ian, did you want to say anything about you? Or we can do that tomorrow.
I'll be seeing 3 of you tomorrow night.
Yes, you must have been yours tomorrow night.
I'll take a lot longer.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, very good.
I'm almost exactly twice Phil's age, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so a wee bit more history to cover. Fair enough. Okay. Before, I guess we should probably just get into it really. These are your course assessment dates, just for extra clarification. If you don't have any more questions about, you shoot through. Okay, lovely.
We'll see the 3 of you tomorrow. Yes?
Yeah.
Good, wonderful.
Yeah. Any more administrative questions or burning issues you might have?
Since I'm doing the other 2 from home,
Yeah.
is it possible for me to get all the information, because I won't be here Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow night, to all this stuff for the next 2?
Yep. You want it in advance?
Yes,
Yep. Can I just email it?
Yeah.
Or actually, if I put it up on Moodle,
Yep.
are you happy to just
Look
log
at
in
it. Yeah,
and
that's
look
cool.
in it on there? Because I'll put the PowerPoint up there, and I'll
Yep.
put activities that we're doing in class up
Yeah,
there.
so do we get all this kind of stuff for that as
Yeah.
well? Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
And
Thank
you won't be here tomorrow night, is that?
No, I will be here tomorrow,
Oh, you will
I was
be
just
here.
asking if you guys need it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want hard copies in particular and you haven't got a printer at home or don't want to print it out, then I can just let you know, and I can print out leave a copy at reception for you to pick
Okay.
up or something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another option.
Remind me tomorrow which one of those you want.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
make sure you-
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Student ID cards, I don't know if you probably haven't received anything, I haven't seen any yet. If you provide a photo, then they should make a student ID card which will have your student ID number on it, which is useful for getting books out of the library. I mean, the librarians can just look your number up if you give them their name, so that it's no problem if you don't have it. But it is really useful for getting in cheaper movies or getting
Discounts.
student discounts. So make sure that you have submitted a photo to registry, or if you haven't done that already, just even send it to me and I'll send it straight on to them and say, can you please make sure that these other people get student ID cards. Okay?
I'm still waiting to approve my confirmation letter. Okay.
Right, yeah, student acceptance letters. That's possibly because I think we just signed yours off today. I saw your one over at registry today, Phil, so they will be making up the student acceptance letter. The student acceptance letter is basically the sort of legally binding document that says that you are a student and we've got a contract with you for that. So you'll pay fees and we will deliver education. But if you do decide that this is not the right thing for you, then you need to make that decision reasonably quickly. If you withdraw within 10% of the start of the course, you'll get your fee refunded. If you wait till after 10%, so I'll give you 2 weeks, I guess, is the point. If you wait till after that, you don't get your fee back. And I don't want anybody to throw away $700 and something because it's not the right thing for them. So if you're having doubts, come and talk to me sooner rather than later. Okay? There is a form to fill in for withdrawal, or if you just email me, if I've got something in writing, then we can process it that way. But yeah, have a real serious think about, even if you want to withdraw from 1 paper or 2 papers, like, if it's those of you who are full time, if you go, yikes, this is going to be way too much, think about the workload. Each paper is around about 10 hours a week of learning time. Okay, so yeah, we're only here for an hour. Oh, it's almost gone. but you've got a lot of reading, a lot of assessment work, and it's all going to, the other thing about these courses is you've got to plan your time quite wisely as well, because everything's always due at the end of June. We try to schedule it so that it's not all due at the end of June, but really you can't do the assessments until we've done the teaching and you've done the learning, so the assessment does tend to fall towards the end. So my best advice is to, once you get in the assessment, is to keep on top of the readings weekly, keep on top of the course forums. I mean, 10% doesn't seem like a lot, but it can make the difference between an A and a B, and the grade system is in your program handbook there, if you're particularly curious as to how to get an A or a B. Those of you coming from school are probably used to unit standards and
The
achievement standards and things, but yeah, we've got A plus 90 to 100%. That's a good goal to have, guys. It looks really nice on your transcript, right? And that just basically outlines those grades. So you keep out your course forums and chip away your assessments as you can. It's not much. I'm not going to hand it out, the first one out tonight, because we're not covering any of that topic yet. But next week I'll probably hand it out so you can start working away on it and start thinking about it, start working on what you need to do for it. All right? Think about your time management, and that's a really important part of learning to be a business student or learning to work in a business environment, is managing your time effectively. So yes, we're here to learn about management theory, but we're also here to learn some of those softer skills around how to actually interact in the workplace and be a good participant in the workplace. Okay? Alright, enough waffle from me. I'm sure you're sick of the lectures, you probably have plenty of those. Let's look at what we're here to consider tonight. So you should have a copy of that PowerPoint there in front of you. So just do it like that so you can take a few notes down the side if you want to. Now, like I said, that's already up on Moodle, so if you're happy without any paper whatsoever, you can get rid of it. This topic is Introduction to Applied Management, okay? And why it's applied is that we're talking about learning by doing. So we're talking about getting sucked into real world activities and case studies and scenarios, so they're going to give you some valuable sort of insight when it comes to going out and working in the real world. It's a little bit challenging. We can't just send you out to the workplace and say, right, go practice being a manager for a day. That's a bit hard to do, but we can put you into scenarios that will get you some sort of insight into that. And as you're doing those activities, you need to be thinking about how the theories that we're learning about in class link back to what you're seeing in practice. So yeah, if you are working or if you've worked before, you should be able to start thinking, oh yeah, okay, maybe that's why they do that in that organisation, they do it that way. So yeah, it's really about trying to link the theories, management theories, and we're going to look at theories that have been around for, hundreds of years potentially, but are still relevant because the principles are still sound. Okay, and modern theories and ideas as well, and how they actually relate to what we do in management. What do you think management actually is? If you were going to define it.
Leading.
Being the boss.
Being the boss. Yep. Definitely a part of it. It's complex, it really is. And there are lots of different definitions that, of management, but quite like this one, it's quite simple. We're talking about the process, so the tasks involved in effectively and efficiently planning, organising, controlling and leading, and resulting in the achievement of our overall company goals. Okay? So, do you know the distinction between efficiency and effectiveness?
Efficient is fast, effective is make sure it's done.
Okay, yeah. Efficiency is doing things well, doing things right, doing things in an expedient kind of a way.
Effectively is the effect of it.
Yeah, is doing the right things. Doing things that are actually useful and valuable to achieving the company goals. Okay, so there's a key sort of distinction there. We can all be really, really efficient in ticking off those goals, okay? You could all be really, really efficient in reading your textbooks, but if you don't complete the assessments, then you're not going to pass the course, okay? No matter how much you read your textbook. So you have to choose the right thing to do. So doing your assessments is going to help you pass the course, and you have to do that efficiently. Okay, so reading the textbook is going to help you to be able to do that efficiently.
So like sound decision making.
Sound decision making, exactly. Yeah. Choose the right things to do and then do them well, basically. And then we get to the core functions of management, which are our planning, organising, leading and controlling. Now you mentioned leading, which is certainly a part of it. It's definitely important. And there is a bit of a distinction between management and leadership that we will look at as well. Because management is a bit more than just being a leader. Management is about thinking up what are the goals for this organisation or for this department or this team. Okay, what do we need to achieve? Okay, and thinking about how we're going to get there. So you start to make goals and you start to make plans. And those happen at different levels in an organisation. They can happen at a strategic level, at a tactical level, at an operational level. And we'll look at that more as we dig into planning in a few weeks' time. Organising, okay, is about getting the resources together, making sure we've got the appropriate resources in the right time in the right place. What sort of resources do you think we might be thinking about there? People, definitely. Don't call it human resources for nothing, although they have changed the name of human resources over time too. Human? Anything else?
Any equipment that you need.
Equipment, machinery,
Staff.
staff, yeah. Money, usually. Money is a key essential resource that makes sure that we've got the financial side of it there, so we can afford the equipment, we can afford the people. That's a key part of organising and making sure those resources are in place. And it's about deciding, who does what and when, scheduling, project planning, how do we group people into departments? How do we group departments into teams? How do we allocate work tasks into job descriptions? So there's a lot that goes into the organising aspect as well.
So that's basically like the whole organisational structure.
Yeah.
So it comes from the very top,
Absolutely.
that part there. But would task delegation, would that come under controlling or organising?
Task delegation would be organising, but then checking that the tasks that you've delegated have been complete would come under controlling. Okay, so anything that involves checking or monitoring is usually a controlling function. Okay, yeah. So checking that the right goal is being chased, that resources are not being wasted, that your targets are being met. That's a key part of making sure that we achieve those goals and the plans that we've made. So we need to make sure we've got financial checks in place. That's what we have, audits and things. We need to make sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do in their job. That's why we have performance reviews. Okay, those are all controlling mechanisms. You have to make sure that somebody in the organisation isn't wastefully spending the organisation's money. And we see examples of that in the media, don't we? That they get accused of spending, organisations' resources and frittering them away. There's no checks in place to see. Okay, so you need some kind of sign-off or delegated financial authority. That's a control mechanism. And then the leading side of it. So leading is really about motivating and getting people on board to achieve the goals that you set using the resources that you've given them. Okay? And we'll talk about different levels of leadership and different theories about leadership. Have a look at activity 1 here, identifying management functions. And if I get really technologically savvy, I should be able to make this into a cool little activity on Moodle. Have you got a copy of that there, Phil?
Yep.
Great. So this is where I want you to have a think about each of the different examples given there. Do you think it's planning? Do you think it's organising? Do you think it's leading? Or do you think it's controlling? say turn to your partner and compare answers, but it's a little bit awkward when I've got an odd number down here and Phil, you're by yourself up there. So we'll just work through them as a group, but yeah, feel free to pipe up. If you've got something that's different to what somebody else has put, that's fine. It's a point of discussion, okay? It's not wrong, it's just a point of discussion. So yeah, you're managing the local pizza shop and you're trying to work out, how the different things that you're doing as part of that job fit into this sort of theory. So decide whether to open a second pizza shop. What do you think that might be? Planning. Yay, very good, exactly. We're thinking about the goals of the organisation and what we're hoping to achieve. Assign job duties. Organising, good, why?
Just organising
Yeah.
tasks.
It's organising tasks, it's working out who's going to do what, making sure that the people resources are there for doing the tasks that need to be done. Did everyone get organising? Check your register slips to ensure proper prices are being charged.
Is that controlling?
Good, yeah, exactly. You guys are smart because I see it. Anything where you're checking or monitoring becomes a controlling function, right? So you check. Provide incentives for employees.
I put leading, but I think it could be
I've
almost
got-
organising
I
as
put
well.
organising.
Yeah.
Why did you put leading?
Well, I put leading basically going off what it said there, like motivating and guiding and resources, but then controlling, also thought it was controlling because it kind of comes under, like, knowing what is going to make your staff work better and how, like, well, I suppose it says provide incentives, but also in a way, like, how to punish them if they're,
Yeah.
like, doing that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like a control thing as well.
Yeah. The controlling part of it would be checking that they've achieved the target. But when you use words like incentivize, we're talking about motivation. So we're talking about a leadership function.
Yeah.
So anything where we're sort of providing some sort of incentive or morale boosting type activity, we're talking about a leadership role. Is that what you got, Phil? What did you?
Yep.
Yeah. So I go with your first gut instinct on that one, I would say. Leadership. Yeah. And you had organising?
Yeah, but I've changed it now that I've thought about it.
That's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, some are a little tricky depending on how they'll word it, and if you change the wording slightly, you can change the meaning a bit. But checking that pizzas are prepared on time. Controlling. Decide what new menu items to offer.
Planning.
Yeah, good. Planning. Yeah, planning, because we're looking at the goals and thinking ahead. Hire some experienced cooks. Organising. Yep, good. Determine the profit margins to be achieved for the year.
I put planning.
You put planning? Yeah.
It's not pre-planning,
Because
that's
it's
not doing it.
you're deciding, it's a decision about what are our goals, our financial goals. Yeah. I mean, how would you control that? How would you control that one?
Control or profit margin.
Yeah.
That would be going back and checking.
Yeah, checking
Yeah.
previous years and what's.
Yeah. So a lot of organisations do our monthly.
Yeah, of course.
Sort of variance check of what is their actual spending against their
Yeah,
target
that's what
spending
I'm
and what is
doing.
their
Yeah.
So that's the control that would check whether or not you're going to achieve your profit margin.
And then you can get actual from like the previous year, so how much you did that year, how much you were given.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can do it annually, you can do it monthly, you can do it weekly if you really wanted to. Institute an employee suggestion program.
I put
Planning.
I got leading too.
Everyone for leading?
Oh no, but planning.
Oh, planning, okay, yeah, all right. Well, if you said deciding to institute an employee suggestion program to improve morale, you could say planning. But just instituting an employee suggestion program, because it comes under that motivation side of it, is designed to be something that engages staff, and that's generally a leadership sort of approach. But once we get into learning more about leadership, you'll find out more about that as well. And monitor the pizza shop opening and closing times as compared to scheduling.
Controlling.
Controlling. Okay. Very good. You guys are getting this very quickly. Right, we're almost at the end, but I've just got a wee video. Any questions?
What?
Right, it's pretty straightforward. It will get more complicated than that, but, but you know, we'll just start off gently, eh? Just start gently and see how we go. I've just got a wee video here, and I'm going to have to move my computer to focus on the sound. Sound.
This is the beginning of the Things You Need to Know About.com management series. Let's get started with what is it? Management takes place within an organization or structure. Note that at the very top of the structure is management, under which everything falls. Also note that leadership is the foundation of the structure. The upward pointing arrows indicate that it permeates throughout the organization. Now, within the organization or structure, the manager allocates resources: human, financial, physical, and informational, using the functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. An example of planning might be creating a budget, which would then become a major control mechanism. Organizing could be the structuring of human resources into an organization chart. Leading might be influencing others to achieve organizational goals created in the planning function. And an example of controlling would be comparing budget with actual figures and taking corrective action if necessary. Please note how the interlocking circles are drawn around each function, showing the interrelationships and the dependencies upon each other. Now, performing these functions most efficiently and effectively creates a competitive advantage, which leads to achieving organizational goals. So in summary, management takes place within an organization or structure and is positioned at the top under which everything falls, whereas leadership is the foundation upon which an organization is built. Then, within the organization or structure, managers allocate resources: human, financial, physical, and informational, using the functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling to most efficiently and effectively achieve organizational goals.
That music makes it seem a lot more exciting than it actually is, don't you think? Woohoo! Okay. Alright. So that is pretty much just a little taster, a little bit of an introduction to get you thinking about what management is about, and we are going to dig a lot deeper into our planning, our organising, our leading and controlling as our 4 primary functions. We're also next week going to start looking at the history of management. So we'll look back at some of the management theory, okay, and how that's evolved over time. So what you need to do between now and then is to go away, join Moodle if you haven't done it already, get into the Management 103 course, read the first week's material, which is available in PDF online, okay? And the first, the first reading, Cultural Constraints and Management Theories, that's available as a PDF. The first week's material, which is pretty much just a more expanded version of what we've talked about tonight, is available in there, and you just click through and read it in Moodle. It's embedded in Moodle. Okay. so, and post your response to the first course forum post, alright? Tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also, if I've given you the, the introduction to Moodle help sheet, set up your wee profile, put yourself a photo in there. Remember that what you put in there is available to other students and tutors on the course, but it's not available outside of that. Okay, so just make sure that it's something that you're prepared to share. Think about that before you post things, I guess. Okay. Any questions?
No.
No, plenty to get you started.
Yeah.
Go away, explore Moodle, have fun, and yeah, like I said, get in touch if you've got any issues or challenges or questions, okay? Try and sort it out as quick as we can. Very good, well done. Oh, and we finished 5 minutes early. Okay. Turn that off now.